What's up, guys? Jamie Bunn, Fish Bluewater. Thanks for joining us. So I'm pumped right now. We are headed south to Marathon, Florida Keys in a couple of days for a week. And just gonna be hanging down there with family and friends, enjoying some good times, getting some fishing in, etc., etc. And I don't do a lot of trolling, I don't do a lot of dolphin fishing, but I've got the itch, man. We've got these new 22-foot inline Jim Lux outriggers on the new boat, and I'm just dying to put those to the test and play with them. So we're gonna do some trolling while we're down in the Keys. And I thought before we get down there, and we're planning to do some filming on that day for you guys as well, we'd spend a little time on our tips and techniques segments, and I thought I would show you guys one of the neat ways that I like to tie rigs for trolling, Ballyhoo rigs that is. So let's get it started. So first things first, I'm going to cut myself a little section of leader. Just to be clear, this is only 40-pound test line, which is lighter than I would typically use for trolling. Probably would normally go with 60 to 80-pound monofilament, but since I don't have any on the boat, we're going to go with what we got. So on one end, I'm going to make my loop, which we've shown you how to tie before. It's called the Perfection Loop. Thank you, Jeff Seeley, for reminding me of the name of it. So we're going to get our loop tied up. And we'll pull tight on that just for the one end. Ready to go. Take my pliers here and just give ourselves a little snip to trim off that tag end. And we'll be ready to attach the hook. But before I do that, I'm gonna make my pen rig, basically, which is what we will use to go up through the center, through the head of the Ballyhoo, and eventually to be able to utilize that pen to not only keep the Ballyhoo symmetrical and tracking properly in the water, but also to make sure the mouth of the bait stays shut. We don't allow water to get through and allow the bait to wash out very easily. All right, so I've got a 3407, I believe this is probably a 7.0 or an 8.0 size hook, which is appropriate size for the medium-sized Ballyhoo we're gonna be trolling. And this is just a piece of, I believe it's number 14 or number 16, a galvanized wire, which you can get at Tractor Supply, Home Depot, Lowe's. So I'm gonna take it through the bottom side of the eye of the hook. I'm gonna go up through the bottom of the hook, out the top side. Let that lay flat on the shank of the hook like so. And then come around the shank of the hook, pull nice and tight. And now I'm gonna start doing my barrel wraps all the way around the hook, just like that. Nice and tight. For that final touch, I'm gonna grab these pliers, just because that wire is really hard, not easy to get that tag end flush all the way down. There we go. Now, there's my hook, and there's my pen, which will come up through the top head of the Ballyhoo. Last step, you're going to take that leader material that I cut, tie a simple fisherman's knot like so, through there, Pull tight. Trim your mono tag in. Super simple, super easy. We now have your mono leader to your wire pin rig hook. Next step, we just got to put this in a ballyhoo, and I'll show you how to do that back at the dock. Okay guys, we're back at the dock and we're ready to get this ballyhoo rigged up. Like I said, when we were offshore, we're going to be down in the Keys. Looking forward to doing some trolling. Haven't done much in a while. And so we'll have a mix of ballyhoos and bonita strips that we'll be pulling behind the boat. We already showed you how to get your pin rig set up. So the next step is to get this ballyhoo ready to troll. So what you want to do to make sure that these baits don't get washed out is, they actually make a tool where you can poke the eyes out of these things. I don't have one of those handy right now. So a simple Phillips head screwdriver is my tool of choice at the moment. I like to remove the actual fins, the pectoral fins from the side of the ballyhoo. They swim better when you don't have any of those fins to affect how they swim. Next step, go right down the actual belly of the bait. We're gonna get all of the ballyhoo doo-doo out of there. And then I take my fingers and I pinch down the back, and you'll feel, as you go down the back of that ballyhoo, you'll feel the snap. What that snap is, that is breaking the backbone of the ballyhoo to where, I mean, it's just gonna have phenomenal action in the water. All right? We got that ready to go. Next thing we're gonna do is go up right through the gill slits of the bait. I'm gonna look to come out right about through that eye socket. Hook comes out. Now I need to go up the ballyhoo with my pin rig, like so. Take my bait knife and put a little incision there just to give my hook a little room for play, okay? Now we've got our hook up in the bait. I'm gonna break that bill off, like so. You're ready to go. And the last step, and this is something that has been shown to me before, and I thought it was really clever and easy. A lot of guys will use copper wire, but a quick and easy way to do this, to get that mouth of the ballyhoo shut, is a couple of wraps right around that pin rig that we've created, right? Gonna go around the front and the back of that rig. Now we've got the mouth of that bait nice and shut, and this ballyhoo is ready to go. Some guys will fish double hook rigs. I don't care to fish the double hook rigs. You can see our pin rig sitting right up in the middle of the head of the bait. I just find that the fish pulls a lot more naturally. Your better quality fish are gonna inhale the bait anyhow. And now you could simply fish this as is, a naked ballyhoo. You could add a skirt to it. You could do whatever you want. But I'll probably rig up a dozen to a dozen and a half of these before our trip, before we head offshore next week. We'll have some strips. We'll have a nice arsenal ready to go. So stay tuned for the next video down with us offshore in the Keys, and hopefully we'll be turning these ballyhoo into some gaffer dolphin.